Hey guys, this is Alex from 4C Trading, and today let's talk about the hottest topic, or should say the hottest coin, Doge, right? My god, one of the oldest coins and one of the ones that consistently pumps. As we can see that we are on the weekly, you can see this is consistently moves for the Dogecoin, right? So observing a chart like this on weekly, you can already, perhaps it gives you a little bit of a clue where in history usually Doge is going to be heading to. So I know some people will now say, okay, maybe this time it's different, maybe we're going to do a lot for whatever, right? But history seems to repeat itself when it comes to trading. Mostly not in price action. Obviously in price action is a little bit different. You do have to gain some or lose some levels for that to repeat itself. But that is why we are here right now, because if you guys indeed are deep into some of these coins that some of the Doge coins, well, let's try to protect you guys and kind of give you a hindsight to what's gonna happen now in the future. So for that, best to see is we can scooch down over to 1 hour chart, and kind of see what the price action really is doing on the latest levels, right? So first of all, you've seen the weekly, you've seen when where Dogecoin usually returns back in from such a tremendous pumps, where it usually ends up being back. And part of this, which I also forgot to probably mention, is because all of the pumps are so quick. We already know that most of the time when you have really quick pumps, it usually goes down even faster. That's also the point. So right now I'm gonna use this weekly chart, and I'm gonna tag one important area right here on the weekly chart, and now I'm gonna go down again to 1 hour and kind of decipher it a little bit, right? And from this area right now, you can see that we are basically hanging around on the main area, which already tells you that what you've built here, you had 3 same highs, and then you had a higher lows. So what you essentially want to do right now, and this area right now has a perfect conjunction to it, you want to be doing a lower low around here, and this is probably the last lower low you want to do. So what you want to do here is you gotta go up here, you want to take the trade here, essentially a scalp which has a pretty good defined stop loss, and then you want to be TPing the very top here. So that would be my very first trade, even though a quite risky trade, but a trade like this, I usually do like it because it has a very defined stop loss. But at the current pace that this Doge is doing, we probably have a lot bigger chances of going down. But until we lose that area, it's still possibility to continue up. So that's why a very first position is quite soon. It's going to be located here, and the stop loss is going to be a little bit more than 12%. Sorry, and now I'm gonna actually put it on underneath these wicks, because I do want the ultimate safety at this point. We are playing a little bit with fire at the moment, but it's also pays off. It can also pay off big at the end of the day. Now the first one is gonna be at 15% stop loss. It is a little bit fatter stop loss, as we are usually but we already know that. I can't really go a lot safer here. I can't go a lot safer, because if I do go a lot safer, I can get a wick like this, because Doge at the moment is incredibly wicky, due to the fact that a lot of people are jumping in and out, and it doesn't have a proper liquidity to begin with, right? So yes, if you look at this one, and if you look at the very first profit take, it's still very much an amazing profit take. You're looking at 57%, 3.7 R, or 206 Satoshis, right? So it's still a pretty much amazing trade. And again, I said we are playing with a little bit of a fire here, because we are doing these hard lows, but we are not breaking the highs, so it is a little bit on a side where I'm giving it more chances it's gonna dip further than it's gonna go up. But nonetheless, because you have such a defined spot for this trade, essentially a pretty easy stop loss, and not only an easy stop loss, a pretty good profit take of 3.75, right? You can then pretty much try to go for a bullish continuation, because if it's gonna do a good reaction here and close above the tops, you're most likely gonna get a continuation on this last one, because this should be right now, if it's gonna do it, this is either gonna be the last lower low right here, or it's gonna go further down. Now this is what I mostly want to discuss next. So if you're currently holding Doge, because a lot of people bought in, a lot of people did FOMO in, if we do something like this and we start dropping this low, you're most likely going to swoop the entire thing. What that means is you're most likely going to end under this level. And once you end under this level and you get a couple of rejection, or a couple of candles beneath this level, then you will most likely go ahead on you're gonna head on Doge a lot lower, you know. So at the point of this, if something like this happens, what you want to do it is, if you're still stuck in Doge because you didn't sell, right, you most likely want to sell a pullback. So right now I don't see I can't really show short yet because I don't see a price action that's going to be playing out. But on that pullback, this area will probably most likely play again a key area to take exactly the same trade but turn around. You know, we're going to be shorting essentially. Or should I say, in your case, if you're holding Doge, you'll most likely be selling Doge. You know, that would be the best idea for you. But once the early confirmation, if you swoop this level after a price action like this, if you swoop this level right here, you're most likely gonna end up being bearish at Doge to begin with, right? So this is kind of your early signal to getting out of it as well, you know. But you always remember that you want to be selling on pullbacks. You do not want to be selling candles like this. You want to be selling pullbacks like here, right? So again, this is when it goes back to my strategy, when I tell you that I almost never hit the tops or bottoms, but I do hit the pullbacks, you know, because for tops, you never know when it's gonna end. And a very good example is here, right? When you had the very first pump on Doge, right? So a lot of people sold here, right? But you never did anything bearish here, you see? You always continued holding the lower low and you always made a new high, right? And then it just continued up. Now imagine if you just sold down here because you thought, okay, this is it now, right? And the very same thing can happen here. Like nobody said this run is over, but we can only assume it's gonna be over, but it's not really confirmed unless we break this low right down here. And that is really our big confirmation. If that happens, then we obviously sell the pullback, right? So that's the best kind of plan you can approach at this point when you have a hyper bullish coin like this. And let's just say, in case this low does happen to break, we can go a little bit of a higher time frame, go to the right side to kind of see where the next reaction area is going to be. And it's most likely going to be between these two parts, right? So now going back to 1 hourly, you can see that most likely we're going to be ending up at the area where this origin of the whole pump started off. And this is again gonna be a good long area, and I'm gonna set up another long here because I do believe there's gonna be, in order, you're gonna be getting a strong reaction at that point, right? And again, you have a predefined stop loss, and this time around it's gonna be a 90%er, right? Because I do want to be keeping that stop loss under that low, because I do expect Doge to be very weaky, especially if it starts returning towards these levels. Because essentially speaking, right now, when it's gonna go down to these levels, you know, a lot of people will be panicking, right? And you don't want to, you want to abuse that panic and actually make some money from it, you know. That's the best way to kind of put it. So now I'm gonna be deleting this under level so the chart doesn't get too cluttery, and let's just see where we're gonna be placing some of our profit takes, not stop loss. Stop losses we already got. So some of our profit takes are definitely gonna be located here, and some of our profit takes are going to be located here. And we have a pretty, now we can go back over to 1 hour and we can see. So our entry is then going to be around, you know, 47 Satoshi down to 36, and our stop under 33 Satoshi. And the first profit take, even though we have a stop loss, a fat stop loss, you can still see the first profit take is actually 90% or 4.3 R, right? Or 78 Satoshi. And again, you can see all of these prices on the right side of my screen right here. And this is absolutely insane if you look at it from that perspective. I mean, this is 100% almost first profit take. Probably one of the best we ever had for the first profit take, right? And this is what really gets it. When you have a high volatile coin that creates these hyperstructures, yes, you most likely you will return back to the origin of the pump even quicker than you went up. But also the reaction when you're going to return to down here is going to be much larger to what it usually is, right? And now the second profit take, oops, let me just go. The second profit take is going to be 173% and 8.8 R, and the last one, 112 Satoshis, and the last one I'm going to be using this area, and it's going to be at the bottom of the area. The last one, 212%, 128 Satoshi and 10.8 R. So yes, an absolutely beautiful trade to begin with. And this is my last profit take, and you know, because I most likely at that time, if it goes that deep, it's most likely going to be bearish again, and you know, it's going to go in their usual state where you're going to be again have some of the opportunities to accumulate the coin and then, you know, in the future, if it goes, and then in the future it's probably gonna pop off again and, you know, repeat the whole cycle that it always do. Now for this first trade, you know, by the time this video goes online tomorrow morning, it's probably gonna go online about 9 hours from now, you know, so most likely this trade could maybe already be skipped. But I wouldn't be too worried about skipping this trade, because as I said, from this current price action, you have maybe just a little bit more chances of going up than going down. But again, since it's like 3.7 R, you know, it's still a very good trade, because essentially those chances are a little bit better, like I already said. So if it's a little bit better, then you're gonna be making money on the long run. So which is basically all that I'm trying to do at this time, you know, on this YouTube channel, right? So yes, guys, please do subscribe to our channel, like the video. Tell us down in the comments below what you think about the trades, right? And also join us at 34C community channel, you know, where we discuss trades like this. We post YouTube videos, and we do try to make these videos every day except on Sunday. And also, you know, we do try to do Bitcoin analysis, Ethereum analysis on daily manner as well. So yes, guys, thank you for watching, and see you on the next one.